everyone, I'm Jacob B. Miles, a licensed associate real estate broker with Brown Harris Stevens, and we're here today at a commercial listing, actually with my good friend Alex First, at 9 East 53rd Street. Again, a commercial listing on the third floor, a fantastic property that we'll speak about in more detail. But right now I have Henry Lee, who's an executive at OccamSec. OccamSec, what does that come from? What does that stand for, Henry?
It's a Greek philosopher. It comes from Occam's razor. So the philosophy is to take something that's complex and to simplify it, right? Simplicity is normally the answer for whatever problems that occur.
The best possible solution, right, is a
Yes.
simple one, maybe a pithy, strong, powerful, but few and simplified,
Correct.
I guess. And then sec, I guess that means security because you're a cybersecurity firm.
Yes.
So cybersecurity, so data security, I guess, right?
Yeah, information, technology,
Right.
security.
Okay. So how did you get involved in this business? Did you study, like data security or something? Or
No, so I graduated with an accounting degree, believe it or not.
Got it. So numbers, quantitative?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but it had nothing to do with being a career in IT.
Yeah.
So I started by teaching the CEO of OccamSec martial arts. That's how that's our relationship.
Yeah.
So we knew each other for about 10 years,
Yeah.
and then 5 of that was student teacher, and then the other 5 was more of a professional setting where as the organization grew, he needed someone to kind of help organize things and manage projects and help out with the operational side of the business.
I'm sure you're excellent with that, so very good.
I'm still learning, no one's excellent at everything, so.
So what distinguishes you and OccamSec from others, say competitors or other service providers around that do this kind of thing?
So an analogy I like to use is what distinguishes us is we're unique in a way where we're the special ops, whereas other people are more like the general army or Navy, and we come in and we execute, we do things right. Like, when we go to, when you go see a doctor, right? You wouldn't want your general practitioner doing heart surgery on you.
Right.
You'd go to the heart surgeon.
Right.
And that's kind of what differentiates us is most people, the specialists. We come in, we do one thing, we do cybersecurity, and if, we fail, then, that's the organization that will be failing as well.
But you have deep expertise in this cybersecurity, right?
Correct.
And so that's what you guys do. Got it. So how has COVID-19 changed the way that you guys have operated? I mean, have your clients' needs changed during the pandemic? Maybe they need to work more from home, and that might pose security challenges. Has it?
Yes, it has. So from a client side, we had clients who had maybe 200 people go over like VPN and go into network. Now that when work from home happened, they went from 200 to 5,000.
So that VPN is logging in from home.
Yes,
example,
correct.
Right.
It's a method of someone logging in from home securely into their office environment. So we saw a need to do kind of remote network assessments to kind of assess their infrastructure.
And beyond just making sure passwords are secure, maybe double factor, two-factor
yes,
authentication.
multi-factor authentication.
That annoying thing when you get a text message and whatever and all. But I'm sure it's much more complex and than just doing those kinds of things. Your evaluation
there's a team that goes in and they work their magic, their technical magic, which I'm not as technical as they are.
Sure.
But I help out with the projects and stuff. So
of course, well, you're an executive with the company, sure.
From an OccamSec standpoint, it hasn't impacted us. Our team is dispersed globally, so everyone, as long as they have an internet connection and a phone, we pretty much can work from anywhere, right? So we have offices kind of like from Hawaii to like London, where everyone generally would work from home, or can just grab a laptop and just.
Or the beach, or the surfboard, or whatever.
That would make
Hawaii,
for a very messy Zoom, a very messy conference call.
Very interesting how someone chose Hawaii, so for that. But anyway, getting back to reality here and on the ground here in New York City, for this beautiful office space, this one, available for lease, it's 9 East 35th Street. It's a listing with Handler Real Estate, and the broker there is Alexander First, my friend, as I mentioned before, here between 5th and Madison Avenue. So I know you've walked around this space, available for lease, maybe a 10 to 20-person company, perhaps you already have clients that are 10 to 20 employees or so, sort of small. For that kind of generic type of client profile, what kind of services would you propose to a company moving into a new office space?
So it's kind of like a multi-tiered question. So first thing I would say is security is hard, right? There's no one security solution for any organization, right? Every organization is complex. They have their own little nuances. So what we would assess from them is what mission critical systems do they have that when it goes down, it'll cause them nightmare or have financial impact to the organization.
So think of the worst.
Yes, think of the worst, and then we will work out a solution of how we can assess the likelihood and likelihood of that happening, of the outcome happening, and find a way to mitigate that risk.
So you almost need to think of like the bad guy, or think of, think pessimistically.
Yes,
think of, the thief, who wants to come in and take, or whatever the term is, to steal data and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then figure out how to be smarter than this hypothetical thief.
Pretty
right?
much.
So, okay, very good. Can you also share a story about a commercial or retail client, again, like a client of this size would come into a third floor, in Midtown Manhattan, who might have been reluctant at first to hire your services? Maybe you guys are expensive because you're a specialist, and and you help banks and all kinds of huge companies around the world, but who might have been reluctant at first, but who became most pleasantly surprised after working with you guys.
So where we've come in, we've tested an organization that was already tested, right? But when we came in, we found all the other holes that are vulnerabilities that a possible attacker can exploit, because we had business context. We understood where their mission critical systems were.
Got it.
And when we presented that to them, it would have been either they would have ended up on the news, they'd have lost PII, which is PII's social security, date of birth, addresses.
Private information.
Yes, of course, personally identifiable information.
Right.
So that would have resulted in a very bad day in court.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Reputational risk, legal risk, of course, all kinds of Okay. It seems to me that at least I'm becoming more and more reliant on data, and on data that's being stored somewhere, and I don't even know where it is, right? Personally and professionally, whether it's an iPad or an iPhone or whatever, banking information, emails, my passwords are a secure thing, So we as a culture, as a society, are depending more and more on data. That seems to be the trend. Is that going to be the trend going forward? And if so, how is your industry and your company evolving to meet this dynamic?
Correct. And yes, that is a trend that we see that's going forward. Everything's becoming more and more connected, right? From your phone to your car, to your refrigerator, to your stove, even to your door locks, to your house.
Yes.
Amazon has a thing where
I've seen that. Maybe even Apple Watch.
Yeah, an Apple Watch. So as this industry is evolving, as it's becoming more and more integrated in our everyday life, it's important that it's secure, because it manages every facet right now of your life. It's in there. It's inside the kind of like the bloodline of society.
And so the client or consumer, whoever, needs to feel comfortable that this cloud is secure, wherever it's being stored, because we have no idea where this stuff is being stored. And so that it's really secure and impenetrable, right, to thieves, to anyone, right?
Yes, or they try to be. I mean, to be honest, if you give enough time or money, everything can be hacked, right? So, like a nation state wants to come in and trying to they have multi-million/billion-dollar funding behind trying to get.
So a company like yours are more and more important, of course, to try to. So any final comments or advice to share, for maybe a company considering your services or worried about data security? Anything else to share?
Just to be vigilant and safe. I mean, with the rise of this current kind of climate, given the situation, we've seen more and more phishing attacks. Right. So
and that's an email that comes in that is an imposter email, basically, and encourages you to click on something. So
to click on something, to download anything, and then that becomes a malicious. A malware that lives in your system that can gather and steal your data. So just be important, be vigilant, try to verify before you open email or download a link from someone you don't know.
Right. I guess some other, even if it says, U.S. government, or it says, something, but maybe see the email address,
Yes.
click or right-click on the thing, from whatever, to investigate a little bit more and see not just the name that's there, but also the email address, and if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense. So, great.
Correct.
Well, Henry Lee, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
Executive
Jacob.
from OccamSec. We really appreciate it. Thank you for describing more about your company, cybersecurity, what it does. And of course, thank you to Alexander First of Handler Real Estate and this beautiful listing here at 9 East 53rd Street. It's available for lease. And I'm Jacob E. Miles, a licensed associate real estate broker with Brown Harris Stevens. And you're watching the Jacob E. Miles YouTube channel. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.